Pam, pa pa pam, 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 pam. Hey, hello. Hi, everyone. Let me turn on the music. There we are. Kondechi, Davis here, and today we're going to draw something. And by something I mean I already know what we are going to draw, and probably you can already see what we are going to draw. So basically, draw Mio, hashtag Hololive. For my new illustration. Okay. So basically, recently I've been back to drawing a bit more, Hololive VTubers than I used to. There's a reason behind that. Well, first of all, their designs are good, right? Like that was also the reason previously. Their designs are just cool, and they have a lot of interactions that I can use. In theory, I could do the same thing for some anime or something like that, but you know, it's just a bit more difficult to really pull that off, considering like the character's supposed to act in a certain way and such. Meanwhile, when it comes to VTubers, you have a bit more freedom. You know a little bit more how they are going to act, you know, because you can see their clips and you can even illustrate things based on the clips. And just as much as you can do the same thing about anime, I doubt it's going to be really that easy to pull it off in how to say this. I doubt it's going to be really that easy to pull it off with some more free drawings of sorts. You know what I mean? So yeah. Art, a new man, okay. So that's the thing. And yeah, we're just going to draw Mion. I'm going to just, you know, roll around with this. And we continue our streak, which makes me really happy. For those who don't know, I do want to make a 7-day streak where I'm going to stream for all the days of the week. I haven't done that in a while, and that's why I really want to. I really want to. That's my goal for this week, basically. Right? All right. That's just how it goes. All aboard! Ha 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 ha. Crazy, but that's how it goes. Millions of people. Oh my. Metal wounds not healing. Alrighty, folks. Oh my. My throat started to feel weird. I don't like that. Good thing I've got something to drink. Today I'm treating myself to a Pepsi Twist. You know, the lemon one. So let me see. So we've got Mio. I know more or less what I want to do for this illustration. I want to pull off more of a Reno Tuna type illustration that he does for his characters most of the time. Like for example, this one. So for like more or less give or take this style, right? So we have a character, we have some kind of background, and there are some like objects, but in general the character is doesn't really have a background, right? There's just like, you know, some wrap around it. Maybe I would be willing to go a bit overboard with some stuff and make a bit more, but I feel like I want to take just small steps for that. Hi Muto, good to be here. How are you? Hope it has good. So yeah, I want to take it easy, and by taking it easy, I mean I'm going to just figure out everything. So get to hear it. Get to hear. So yeah, my deal is that I'm going to take Mio. Yeah, I'm going to take Mio. And I'm going to draw her in a maid outfit. I've got the maid outfit. The thing is that I need a platter too, or a cup on a platter. Kinda, give or take. I've got more or less what I want, but I think I'm going to draw it on a bit different thing. Okay, whatever. Alright, I think I've got everything. I've only got two references, but I think that's fine, at least for the state that we're going to be at. And I'm starting this as a sketch because I want to, it's another plan I've got. I'm going to work on this illustration starting from sketching stream, where I'm going to just sketch and ensure that the sketch is sketched out. And then I'm going to color it. And during the coloring period, this is where we are going to dive into the illustration, because I'm going to do things a bit more. You can kind of say that I'm just going to split it between sketching and finishing the artworks, I guess. Because the illustrations are going to be a bit more advanced, because I'm going to make only the characters with some simple environment items. Meanwhile, for the illustrations, we are going to actually spend a little bit more time on things and even rethink if whatever we've added is good enough to keep at it. So yeah. And my idea is that Mio is going to kinda like kneel, because she's going to be dressed in a maid outfit, right? For those who don't know, I'm kind of, you know, because that might be a bit confusing that I'm adding lines on the sides. This is kind of like adding muscles. Because like you can see, for example, that I'm doing something similar for the breasts. That, like, first of all, I'm establishing the shape, right? So like the rib cage and such, and then I'm placing things on top of it. So that's the goal. I guess I actually supposed to do something like that, but whatever. And I think for the better visibility, this leg is going to be out here, and this leg is going to be here. This arm's going to be up here. Funky pose, yeah. Funky pose, just, you know, dynamic too, considering that she's just kneeling. I'm trying to give a bit more pizzazz to the pose. I want to position things here. So her hand's going to be here, and that works. That works. That's nice. That's the thing for the illustrations. At times it's actually really good to work things out. And I guess I'm going to also try to save each step that I'm doing. Like here I'm finding the pose. You know what I'm saying? I'm finding the pose, then on top of that I'm going to have In green, I'm going to make her hairs and her ears. Wait, maybe in black I'm going to make the... I'm going to make her face. And Miosha actually got... Yeah, she got a bit more... f- her face is more on a thin size. Giving her a bit of a poker face. Or maybe, maybe I might also think of something like that. Like reverse the D smile. Like, G, you know? Maybe even adding a bit more frown to it. Like, like she. Something like that. Hmm. That is actually interesting. Okay. What we can go for here? Because she's got those like... Yeah. Okay. Maybe let's keep with the original idea, like poker face. Hi Mocha, got over here, how are you? Hope how's going? I think this might be the first science round, so hope we find a coffee corner here. How are you? I'm good, how are you? Doing good, doing good. Just resting and, you know, drawing Miosha. You know, just trying to make some funny illustrations recently. Just have some fun, you know? So the idea is that she's going to be dressed in like a maid outfit, and she's going to pour a cup of tea or try, but she's going to try to add some like pizzazz into that, and so she like kneels with like you know, in a very specific pose and has her arm, you know, stretched out up to make like one of those fancy long purrs, but she misses the cap, so she's like poker facing now and like shoots kind of thing. Whoa, yeah. That's the idea, at least, that we've got. So I'm just going to, you know, casually, slowly draw, you know, sketch her out, or at least plan her out. We're going to sketch after this. This is more like planning, you know, like a planning method for me. Helps me a bunch. I haven't been here in a good while. I'm so sorry. It's okay. It's okay. You know, it's good to have you back. It must have been a really long time since I thought that you're a newcomer. Or maybe, hmm, maybe I know you under a different nickname. That might be also possible, but well, either way, I'm really glad to have you back. But one way or another, there's no reason to be sorry about anything, you know? So. I'm actually going to kind of try to gather some ideas for illustrations. Again, like, I want to make a list of ideas that I can work. So yeah. You know? I just kind of want to treat every single illustration as a separate project. That means I'm going to prepare a bit more for illustrations. Previously I was doing them rather spontaneously. I wasn't really preparing any... I wasn't really preparing at all. So no references, no nothing. No idea even. You know? So yeah, I'm kind of like wondering because it's like very specific view on her that I have because I only see her unfuzz. I don't have her entire VTuber like, you know, turnaround. So I'm kind of trying to analyze also how things are going to look like. So, you know, it's like more of a like an active analysis from my side. Usually I'm only doing analysis like after, like, when I'm about to finish the stream. So I'm noticing stuff, but I've noticed that it's recently been like really problematic to go about it. And more illustrations were left with a lot of issues I could just fix during, you know, if I would only spend more time on that, you know, previously, you know, on the proper stage. So I need to like I want to start also actively analyzing my artworks. I basically want to put some more quality to it, you know, some more quality over quantity. So sure, we are going to make one illustration for 18 different streams, but we are going to finish it, right? And hey, for example, Ollie retweeted my illustration, and Narissa actually left a like under her sketch. So that makes me really darn happy. It makes me really darn happy. Because my illustrations were liked by people to whom they were destined, and you know that's a goal. That's a goal. I do want to, you know, still make the VTuber that I'm drawing those things for happy, because you know it's, first of all, I'm doing this for them. But on the other hand, I'm really happy to see that many people, and I mean many people, are actually picking a liking to my works. You know, there's some pride in this. I'm very proud that my works can reach people on a higher scale than I've expected. It's a way different feeling. Alright, let's now do the outfit. Oh my. I haven't touched One Piece. Usually I'm, you know, watching things. You know, I'm usually watching anime on weekends. So right now I'm having a break. But I can't wait. I need to watch how many episodes? Give me a short second to see. It's and 516 minus 419 minus 1, 28 episodes. This is like some of the, like a double of some, well, it's actually a Kamega Kill length plus 4 episodes, because a Kamega Kill has 24 episodes. And I've actually chewed through I've actually chewed through Chainsaw Man in one day. I've watched the entire thing on Sunday. And I have to say, Chainsaw Man was something. It was an experience, but I don't know what to feel about it. You know, it's a very interesting concept, but yeah, I'm not really sure. What makes me kind of scared is that they've made Riza arc as a video, as a movie, I mean. So instead of like actually making this arc as an actual, you know, episode like thing, they've just released it as a full movie, and that's it. Hi Doc, good to have you here. How are you? Hoping it's going? I think this is the first science round, so hope you find a comfy corner here. How are you? Hi. So yeah, I think there's also I need to verify this because I keep in my mind for some reason this like weird idea that there's going to be Chainsaw Man second season. Chainsaw Man second season release date. I think it was, yeah, late 2026 or early 2027 release date. Yeah, that's going. Yeah, yeah. That's the thing. By Mappa. So Mappa is going to make the season. I think Mappa also made the first season, right? Yeah. So I'm actually kind of now stalling because I'm going to now watch those 28 episodes of One Piece to finish that arc. It's that post-war thing where Luffy, you know, after that Luffy is going to have that X scar on his chest. So, yeah. And one way or another, I want to watch second season of Soso no Frieren. Soso no Frieren is also on my list, but it's still in like plan to watch. Because I have couple lists. I've got One Piece, because I'm trying to watch One Piece from start to finish. I'm in the middle of the entire thing, which is crazy that I went this far. I have really short attention span, but what helps, and I mean really, what helps a lot, is that I'm watching seasonal anime in between arcs. Without this, I would lose interest before they would meet Nami, most likely. Because Usopp arc was so boring from most of it. Really. And like, don't understand me wrong, like I'm, you know, One Piece is still good anime. It's just Usopp's, you know, arc was pretty bad. They could do it a bit better. I guess I just don't like Usopp's character, you know? It's just not my thing, I suppose. Let's add the flannels here. And maybe we could add like a... You know what I mean? Like this kind of thing. And a dress. Yeah. And just adding some, you know, panels here and there. And that's going to go here. It's looking quite chaotic, yes, but you're going to see where we're going to go with everything, because I can actually hide all that stuff and just make things a bit more visible. But now with red on top of that, I'm going to make this, which is going to be the platter I've talked about. There's going to be the cup. And there's the, you know, the thing. here, and she holds it here, and that is going to go like this, bounce off again, and drop to the floor, and it's going to make like a splash here. So actually, folks, what is your favorite I assume that some of you might have your Oshis or something like that, you know? Who's your if you're watching Hololive, who's your Hololive Oshi? Please let me know. I'd be more than happy to hear. Or if you prefer to chill, that's also good. I actually find it really nice to draw while watching art content for some reason. So if that's also the case, please be my guest. And yeah. What's kind of irritating is that I've noticed that some people started to repeat designs. Like, for example, I've seen someone trying to copy Gura's design. I like her behavior. There was a... there's actually a VTuber that's trying to imitate Shy Lily. That's kind of sad because I know that for each person who tries to copy something, there's a wasted potential for original design. You know what I'm saying? It's really good to like keep things, you know, just sure you can like, you know, reference, but referencing and copying is something else. And you know, personally, I've heard that I'm going to be more of a copyist than original worker, right? When it comes to art, I did heard those things, and you know, it's mostly because I have a Fantasia, and like people are saying that I'm struggling with figuring things out on my own, you know, like finding new ideas. And I've been hearing a lot of things like this, like, oh, it's okay, don't sweat it, you're a copyist, that's it. Like, no, I don't want to be a copyist, you know? Making copies of designs it's just bad. Like, sure, at times it's easy, you know, just to take like design and like just reference it, like rip it off, just change things a bit, but I would never like make an artwork like this and post it somewhere. It's refreshing not to think about stuff and you're just drawing things that your brain knows. But like just sitting down and straight up like drawing one-to-one things intentionally and then sharing it as if it's like fully yours, like fully original work, it's just kind of... It's like as if you're disrespectful to yourself, you know what I mean? It's just as if you're disrespectful to yourself. And sure, sometimes it happens. Like, for example, musicians experience the same thing. And artists can also experience the same thing. Like when you're drawing something and you think that you've done something original, but surprisingly someone tells you, oh yeah, that looks like this thing, or that sounds like this thing, and you're listening or searching up that thing that they've mentioned and it's actually really accurately done, you know, like very similar to the thing, even though it wasn't in your mind, even if it wasn't really intentional. Sometimes this happens, you know, sometimes this happens. It's maybe I think at some point it might be like, you know, the sheer sake that you know, the sheer sake that we've seen or heard this thing some while ago, and our brain just subconsciously went like, hey, you know what it would look really well with, and gives you exactly that thing, but you're not even sure of if you've seen it or not. That's why your brain like fools itself that it made something original. Like, for example, by an accident, fully by an accident. No references, no nothing. I've drew a character that looks like Arnold Schwarzenegger. Absolutely had no idea until my really good friend pointed this out, and I cannot unsee this thing. That this is a curse that someone can put on you. I swear. That's why, that's why I feel like this is really painful to look at it. Blip. Blip. And yeah. Also, folks, what did you eat so far? Please tell me. Personally, I've had nothing. Oh my. Oh my, oh my. Eat on the closest occasion you'll be able to. Which is probably going to be after the stream, right? Well, that's usually your breakfast time. But yeah, I'm just, but I'm just kind of mad because I want people to, always do their best, not to, just so they wouldn't have to worry about being judged, or if they have like issue with finding out a design, they can trying to always give them some kind of tips for things, but I've noticed that the more more and more people are starting to do the same thing, like they're getting a tip. I guess I'm going to draw those differently. So basically people are getting a tip and they're taking that tip one-to-one. It's like, bro, it's a tip, not something to go for one-to-one. Like, I guess the only references we could go with for one-to-one things is when you are doing a fan art of a character, then you can take the reference one-to-one the design of the character because you're drawing that character, and poses, for example, or certain clothings that you're going for, but then you're like mixing and matching things. You're not drawing, for example, an artwork from zero. You're not drawing someone else's artwork from zero. Or drawing your artwork that's like, where you're using references because you kind of, you've never, for example, drew something and you're like figuring out your possibilities and such. Okay. That being said, I'm going to draw Mio in a very specific way. I'm going to use 25 opacity level on this, but on the outfit I'm going to take only 15. This is because the outfit is actually darker than the everything else, even the black I've used for the general outline of the character, of the proportions and such. And basically, by dropping the opacity even more, I'm going to see the thing a bit better in its general idea. If I'm going to have issues, I'm going to hide layers because I keep everything on different layers. So yeah. I'm using 3840 by 4834 in pixels with 72 dpi, so I'm just, I can use some thicker lines, but I need to still kind of watch out. I'm going to come back to the Mio's reference photo, make a bit better close-up actually to see more details. And yeah. after everything, I'm going to actually go over it with a thinner line, but I'm going to leave it, so it's going to make like a specific effect. Like I can show you, like this. Right, so you can see that the sketch line art is still there, but you have like slightly thicker line and darker, which creates the outline, but you give it like a surrounding, right? Which actually works really well for my style. This is Rino Tuna's, Rino Tuna's school. I've actually seen a lot of his streams. I've done a master study of his, of his works, and I've actually got his course, not curse, course. I've got his course online, and I have to say that's really brilliant. I do recommend the character creation by ideation or something like that, if I remember correctly. It's on Colossum. But yeah, it's a really good one. And I have to say, I might try to like see his course from the beginning. I'm going to make the lower eyelid now. I have to admit I haven't really played a game, in a while. Definitely, like, lack of gaming streams is taking a toll on me, but I'm actually capable to finish a lot of things that I kinda need to finish. And you know what? I'm actually going to drop the brush size to 7 pixels instead of keeping it on 10, and I'm going to make her eyes. Her eyes are more more elliptic than circular. All right. And I guess in the inside of the thing, I'm going to draw the lines with numbers 6 or 7, 6 or 7 pixel brush. And actually, about the eating, personally, I've had some mac and cheese with chicken strips. Very good. I like the combo. She's like, damn. I'm actually going to keep the irises away. She's gonna be kind of looking sad, actually. Like, she wanted to make, do a cool trick. Probably someone told her, like, you're going to spill it everywhere or something. Maybe Fubuki. And basically, they were right. And that's why she's sad, because, like, probably someone is currently, actively telling her off for that. Wait, maybe more further away. Damn. Damn. Hi Goofy, good to have you here. How are you? Hope everything's good. How have you been, buddy? I'm going to draw this later too. Also, should I make her like look at the thing? I think it should be like here. To match this eye. Yeah. I think she should be looking at here where she's got the thing. Where she's peeling the thing and oh well. Or maybe she's just too embarrassed to look at it. She saw everything spilling over and she just didn't want to look at it anymore. Also, I gave her a human ear, but she doesn't have a human ear. She actually have the wolf ears that she's got. Because Mia actually is a wolf. Alright. Okay. Her hairs are very specific. I really like these. Alright, we've got this here, like this, right? Because she's got that like hairpin, which got the plus sign here. Okay. I've never really caught up the story behind this detail. If it's just some kind of hairpin, or is there like story to why it has a plus or a cross or whatever that is. Maybe because it kind of looks like an eye, maybe it actually is supposed to symbolize one. All right. So nothing too much. Okay, okay, okay. And yeah, we're slowly working out Miosha. Actually, I really like Mio's, you know, design too. I believe if I would have to like pinpoint or like grade the designs, I do think that actually Mio's and Cronies, Mio's and Cronies designs are one of the better ones. Just, you know, in my personal opinion. Both are just the same good. You know what I mean? Okay. And there's going to be this. Okay. So things are basically starting to look up. That's what I like to see, you know, when everything starts to look up. Just gonna, you know, just gonna work things out, I guess. She looks drenched. I do like it. I like that I'm giving my characters a bit more variety in facial expressions. You know, like I'm making them a bit more lively. That means that I find, you know, I'm once again back out of the same face syndrome. Unfortunately, that's something that people can fall back into. It's not like a skill that you, oh, I've learned how to draw characters, you know, in the different, like, you know, with different facial expressions. No, it's actually very dependent because you can unlearn this habit, but you can get back to it. And actually getting back to the to this is a bit more how to say this, it's a bit more problematic actually. Okay, let's get back to the thing. Now I'm back to the main outfit design, you know, reference that I've got. Okay. Actually, these two, I'm kind of trying to make it work because I guess her chest is going to like show in here. Yep. This is where her thing's going to be. Here's the strap on the outfit, and over here there's going to be like a longer thingy. Okay. and it's just going to like get very small and squiggly at the end here. Okay, perfect, works nicely. And I guess same here, the strap is just going to be more hidden, I suppose. Okay. And there should be something like this. All right, perfect. That works. That looks nice. And that is going to go like this, because that's actually where she got everything like tied in. Right, that's why there's a bow here and here. Okay. And actually there's supposed to be something like this. Yeah. I can erase that element, this. You know, it's really, it's really specific outfit, you know what I mean? Considering that, you know, how much there's already in it, you know? This, I guess I've picked quite a alright, you know, quite a-okay design for this thing. You know what I mean? So that's my goal. I guess I'm going to keep that like this and go like that. Okay, that's going to make much more sense here. For now, I'm not going to add the other half of her hand, well, her arm, because I want to actually plan out this skirt of hers, because it needs to be like dragged specifically, you know, by the gravity. I've almost got it right. It actually needs to go like this and like this. Whoa, actually. I'm going to delete that too. It needs to go like this, yeah. Because it can't be like, it can't really go up. What we are doing here is actually very specific fold thing, because like things are still kind of bringing into this point, because this is where the pull point of the fabric, and that's actually creating much more, you know, wrinkles than usually. Okay, that works. That works. I need to like add some more to the rest, for the rest of the dress, because you know there are going to be bumps and such here and there. like this. And actually, we suppose to have something more like this. This one should be like pushed here, but I think it should go like this. Wrap in here. Now I'm going to erase everything from here, so I could establish proper line. And over here there's going to be a wrap around, because like, you know, the way how she kneeled actually pushed it a bit to the side, and it also wrapped on itself basically. Okay. I guess there's still a bit more to it. The entire, you know, the entire like maid outfit design is going to be kinda, you know, it's a kind of problematic because of how many little like itty bitty design additions are there going to be, you know? And there's many. Like, golly, you can actually get a lot of add-ons to those. That's why I guess I was also drawing a lot of maids back in the days, you know, because I was guilty as charged. But like the general concept is actually not the sheer sake of the maid, but actually how like interesting the outfits could be done. Like battle maid, short skirt, long skirt, puffy sleeves, no sleeves, with or without the apron, you know? Just so many options. So many. I gave her like really darn strong legs. Oh well. Right. That should be enough, I guess. but just to be sure, I'm going to also check things here and there, because that's going to be covered mostly by the plate, I guess I'm going to keep her in socks, and that's it. That foot is good, but it needs to be smaller. Yeah. And now her arm goes like... Oh my. Okay. That foot needs to be bigger. Like, one foot was way too big, one foot is a bit small. I have no idea what's wrong with me today. Also, I'm going to focus a little. Yeah, this foot is now too small compared to the leg. Golly. Just a little bit. Yeah, now it should be good. And that arm needs to be higher. I mean, not higher, but like... This should be lower. There we go. Okay. I'm just hiding most of the things, just to be sure. Oh my. I have to say, I haven't really seen mint and chocolate chip ice cream in such a long time. I really need mint and chocolate chip ice cream. Okay. And yeah, this thing gonna be here, right? Because the thing going to like wrap up here, so it's going to poke like this. By the way, I'm not using references for this thing in particular. I don't have reference follow for that. I'm almost done with the sketch, so that's good for us. I need to make the lining right in this section in particular, because it needs to be like a very small object, you know, very thin, because it's a plate, you know, it's like platter. Those are not thick. I'm already making it way too thick than as how it's supposed to be, but I'm doing this for the sheer sake of, you know, anime idea. So that's going to go like this. Okay. So we've got a cup. And now let's see. Oh wait, one ear. One of the ears. Here. Sun Grand reveal, and I'm going to then do, you know, changes to what needs to be changed after hiding the, you know, the entirety of those things. You know? Of those underlinings. Okay. Okay. And then okay, I'm going to actually expand it a little. This goes here, just to, you know, keep everything better. But there are a couple things that I don't like. I don't know why. Ah yes, the cap, first of all, is in a wrong perspective. That's the yeah, kinda. That's proper perspective. They would say that a couple times in a row. I want to add here like a band. Longer socks, but under the knee. And here's the thing. Now the question is why she does that. Is that some kind of training? Did she do it several times? If she's training, then sure, she's going to spill the tea in this case because she's just learning, right? Of course, it's not like she would be experiencing this kind of pouring and still mess up. So the ironic thing behind the illustration is going to be the sheer sake of her not being experience in pouring the tea like that. That's going to be the cause of the entire situation. For some reason, there are a couple lines here that I didn't really... Yeah. And I need now the pour. And the pour is going to be actually 5 pixels. Yeah. 5 pixels. Okay. Something among the lines. I also need to erase pieces here, because that's going to be, you know, the where the T is going to be. I think I'm going to also try to color T. I haven't really did those in a while. Okay, and there's going to be another string going like this. So like we are basically making her like having enough of this. You know, maybe it's yet another time where she you know, pull it off, and for example the T ended up on the ground or something. Or again, like maybe someone told her not to do the thing, she went in and tried the thing and ended up they were right. You know. But is the sketch alright? I guess so. I guess so. Maybe I would give her some shoes. Like this, for example. I think those are like very typical maid-like shoes. Okay. All things here make much more sense. Yeah. I like this. Okay, that makes, yeah, that looks good. That looks really good. Some, you know, thing, because she's like kind of wrapping her tail around her leg. In many cases, I'm doing the same thing here. Yeah, I really like that. There's some retaining, there's some, you know, dynamicness to this thing. I like it. I really like this. Maybe I could also just make something like that. Yeah. It kind of, you know, makes her actually hold it. Alrighty. Maybe let's just add this. You know, I'm kind of already done. I'm just trying to figure things out, you know, what I can add, change. Alrighty, that makes, all of that makes sense now. Looks good. So on the next stream from this illustration, I guess we are going to actually make the line art with with smaller brush, basically. You know, figure things out. We'll see. Meanwhile, thanks Muto and Gubus for being active chat on Twitch, Mocha and Duck for being active chat on YouTube, and folks, of course, all the lurkers who appeared here for this 1 second. I'm also really glad I could guest you all, and as always, stay creative. I hope to see you all in the next one. Take care and